Africa is undergoing a dramatic transformation.
The
A
map
process.
of our world is about to change. I'm talking about the continent of Africa splitting into two.
Scientists are predicting that a new ocean could be created as Africa gradually splits into two separate parts in the future.
What if I told you that right now, beneath the Earth's surface, something is happening that could change Africa, and the entire world, as we know it? Sounds crazy, right? But it's true. Deep in East Africa, the Earth is slowly splitting apart, and it's the beginning of something huge, a brand new ocean. And when this new ocean finally forms, it could terrify the world. Stick with me, because today, we're going to dive into the incredible science behind Africa's new ocean and what it means for the future of our planet. Get ready for a wild ride into the heart of the Earth. Imagine standing on land that's slowly drifting away from you. Feels pretty strange, right? Now, what if I told you that's happening right now in East Africa? It's called the East African Rift, and it's like a giant crack in the Earth's crust. But this isn't just any crack. This crack is opening up slowly but surely, and it's going to change everything. What's causing this crack? Why is it happening now? And what could it mean for the world in the future? Let's start with the basics. Africa is home to one of the biggest and most dramatic geological events happening on Earth today, the East African Rift. It stretches for over 3,000 kilometers through countries like Ethiopia, Kenya, Tanzania, and Mozambique. Now, here's the crazy part. The Earth's crust under these countries is literally pulling apart. What if I told you that the plates beneath the ground are moving so slowly, at just 2 inches per year? Sounds like nothing, right? But over millions of years, this tiny movement will lead to something massive, a whole new ocean. So why is this happening? Well, deep beneath the Earth's surface, there's a lot of heat. In fact, the Earth's core is so hot that it melts rocks, creating what we call magma. This magma pushes up and causes the Earth's crust to stretch and break apart. This is what's happening right now in East Africa. But here's the thing, it's not happening all at once. The rift is opening bit by bit, slowly and quietly, and it's been happening for millions of years. But in the next millions of years, we could be looking at a brand new ocean. Now, let's talk about what actually kicked this off. 2005, that's when it all started to get really interesting. In Ethiopia, a huge volcano erupted. This eruption wasn't just a fiery mess of lava and ash. Oh no, this was something much bigger. It was a giant warning sign to scientists. Over 130 earthquakes shook the region in just 1 week. And these weren't your typical small quakes. These were massive tremors that cracked the ground open, stretching for miles. What if I told you that those earthquakes were just a warning that something much bigger was coming? And that's when the Earth did something incredible. After the eruption, huge cracks started to form, 37 miles long. Think about that for a second. Imagine standing on the ground, and suddenly, the Earth starts to crack and split open, right before your eyes. Wouldn't that be terrifying? It's like the Earth itself is saying, I'm going to change things forever. But here's where it gets even crazier. These cracks weren't just breaking apart the ground, they were the beginning of something that will eventually create an entirely new ocean. Yes, you heard that right. A whole new ocean. How is this happening? Well, remember the magma we talked about earlier? That magma is pushing up through the cracks, creating more pressure on the Earth's crust. Over time, this will make the rift bigger and bigger. Right now, we're seeing a rift valley, but what happens when that valley gets deeper and wider? Well, the land between the two plates, the Somali plate and the Nubian plate, will eventually sink below sea level. And when that happens, water from the nearby seas, like the Red Sea and the Indian Ocean, will flood in. Slowly, but surely, a brand new ocean will form, and Africa will split into two. But what if this happens? What if Africa splits apart? The world will look completely different. Picture this, the eastern part of Africa will become a brand new island, while the western part will stay as it is. And over time, this new ocean will completely change the landscape and climate of the entire region. But it's not just about the geography. This new ocean will bring new ecosystems, new habitats, and new opportunities for life to thrive. Coral reefs, fish, and maybe even new species could be born in this ocean. The environment will be totally transformed. Just think about it. As the land sinks and the water rises, whole new ecosystems will emerge. Species that couldn't survive on land might find new homes in this ocean. Could we discover new creatures, plants, or even ecosystems that we've never seen before? What if we find species that have evolved in ways we never imagined? But what does this mean for the people who live there? Right now, millions of people live in the Afar Depression, one of the most active parts of the East African Rift. And even though this might sound like a dangerous place, the people here have found ways to survive, like using geothermal energy to power their homes and purify water. But as the land sinks and the water starts to flood in, life might get a lot harder. Entire communities could be displaced. People who rely on farming could find themselves without land to grow their crops. And volcanic activity could make life even tougher. And here's something even more important. This new ocean won't just change Africa, it could change the entire planet. As the ocean forms, the climate could shift. We might see rainfall patterns changing, some areas getting wetter, and others becoming drier. The birth of this ocean could completely affect global weather patterns. It could even change ocean currents, which would impact the weather in places far away from Africa. But don't worry, scientists are watching this all happen in real time. Thanks to technology like satellites, seismic tools, and even AI, we can track every tiny change as the plates move apart. That means we're able to study this transformation as it happens. It's like watching a time-lapse of Earth's evolution unfold before our eyes. So, what's next? The East African Rift is still opening up, and scientists say it will take millions of years for the new ocean to form. But this isn't something that's just happening in the distant future. The pieces are already moving, and it's already changing the world. Imagine Africa split into two, with a brand new ocean running between them. What will that do to the people, the animals, and the environment? How will this affect the planet in ways we can't even imagine yet? So, what do you think? Will the East African Rift really create a new ocean, and how will that change Africa, and the world? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to hit that like button if you want more mind-blowing updates from life beyond Earth. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep wondering, keep exploring, and keep looking beyond the Earth.